Hello everyone, hope you guys are doing great. Today we're going to learn how to rename your WSL distro. And don't worry if that sounds unfamiliar because I have got a separate tutorial explaining all about WSL and you can find that link in the description box. First, let's see which WSL distro you have on your PC. To do this, open your command prompt and run WSL-L or you can run WSL-list. Both are fine. As you can see here on my screen, I have three WSL distros. The first one is Docker Desktop, the second one is Ubuntu 22.04 and the third one is Ubuntu 24.04. We're going to rename at least two of these today so that you can easily follow along and understand how to rename your WSL distro. By the way, I actually wrote a blog post about this a while ago where I listed all the steps. You can check it out on my website. It is www.subsystem.com. Once you are in my website, just search for rename WSL. I'll also include the link in the description box. Today we'll be following the steps outlined in my blog post to rename a couple of our distros. So the very first step is to make sure all the running WSL distros are shut down. To do this, we need to run the following command, which is wsl-shutdown. Now for the step 2, we need to open the registry editor. You can either find it in your Windows Start menu, just like the screenshot shows in my blog post, or you can follow my lead, press Windows key plus Alt plus spacebar to open the Windows command palette. You can just search for Registry Editor. Once the Registry Editor is open, we need to navigate to the WSL Distro Registry, which is the step 3 in my blog post. You will also find the exact path in my blog post, so you can simply copy and paste it into the registry address bar, or you can look at the screenshot I have included in the blog post, which shows the directory structure. You can then manually navigate through the folders to reach the specific location. Again, if you prefer to skip the manual navigation, just copy the directory path from my blog post and paste it onto the registry editor's address bar. This will take you to the correct folder in just a few seconds. Alright, now for the step 4, as you can see in my blog post, we have arrived at the place where we can find our distribution names and change them to whatever we like. And yes, there is a handy screenshot in the blog post too to guide you through these as well. Let me quickly organize my windows here so you can see everything clearly. You can see we have 3 child entries. And just like we saw earlier, we have 3 WSL distros installed in my system. This means each of these entries correspond to the one of the WSL distro that we have seen in the WSL-list command. I'm not going to rename the first one because it is coming from Docker Desktop application, so I don't want to mess up with Docker Desktop. We're going to focus on renaming the second one and the third one. The second one is currently named as Ubuntu 22.04. Let's go ahead and select the second entry in the LXSS list. Now double click on the entry labeled as distribution name. As you can see, the value here is exactly the same as the name we saw in our terminal when we ran the WSL-list command. This confirms that changing this value will indeed rename our WSL distro. And you can find the same thing on my blog post too. I'm going to go ahead and update the value data field and change it to U22, then press OK. So let's run WSL-list command again and you can see the distro name is updated. If it does not work for you and you cannot see the updated name, you should follow the step 6 on my blog post, which is you have to restart your computer, right? Okay, we can follow the exact same steps to rename our third distro as well. So first find the distro name in the LXSS list, then locate the distribution name entry, double click on the distribution name. I'm going to change this to U24, press OK. Now let's go back to the terminal and run the same command again, which is WSL-list, and there you have it. the third distro's name has been updated too. Now let's mount one of our distro that we have renamed. I'm going to mount the U24 distro. So I'm going to run WSL-D and the distro name, which is U24. Hit enter and you can see the distro has been successfully mounted with the updated name. Now you can go ahead and work with this distro just like you normally would. So that is all for today. Thank you so much for following along. I'll include a link to my blog post in the description below, and I'll also add a link to download the terminal that I have been using for this tutorial. And that's all. Good night.